and welcome to episode 6 of Woo Child. And today I have the CEO and founder of Breakfast at 6, Miss Sarah Watson. Hey, girl.
Thank you for having me.
Girl, thank you for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm living. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm living. I'm trying to expand my life.
Practice that word, by the way. Like,
just there. I started drinking smoothies with
You text me about that, so
yeah, it's supposed to be healthy for me. So we gonna see what happens.
My regimen too.
Yeah, I added some pink sea moss or pink moss. One of my friends is selling it, so let me be supportive. But you can't taste it, but it has all these minerals, like 192 minerals within like 2 tablespoons. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Look at you.
It had 0 sea moss, 0 health benefits besides it was made with almond milk.
But it's there though. But it's there. So, Sarah, tell us what Breakfast at 6 is.
Yeah. So it's funny. Breakfast at 6 is such a play on words. First of all, it's a lingerie brand, but the meaning behind it was such an aphrodisiac feeling to me. It's like breakfast, obviously being the most important part of your day.
Yeah.
So is intimacy, right? So that's an important part of your relationship or your day, right? And then at 6 is also play on words. Like it kind of sounds like sex if you say it fast. It also insinuates like anytime, any day. So this right, so the kind of like ebb and flow of Breakfast at 6 really was the platform for my lingerie products and the types of products that I will be able to offer with that. So like everything is kind of like named after either like a food type of item, an aphrodisiac. It always has like this kind of eat me vibe to it, right? So that's
I love it, yeah.
All kind of like brainstormed around. And it's just a safe play on words without it being, too, I guess, like too, I didn't want it to be very apparent when you first heard the name.
Right. That makes sense. Like, it makes people want more. Like, what's that? We have breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning or the evening.
Right. Right. It's a sensual curiosity too, like when people kind of hop on like my Instagram or my website or whatever, especially first seeing the name, they would think I'm like a food industry or something like that. But no, like they're getting served, but it's not food.
Okay. So how did you choose to go into lingerie or as opposed to socks or shirts or whatever?
Yeah, it's funny. So my background is in fashion design, and I like throughout my whole school year, I actually went to school in Chicago on State Street. I don't know if I ever told you.
Where'd you go?
It's now closed, but it's at the International Academy of Design and Technology on State Street.
I went to Columbia.
Yeah, I would say yes. So you were like down the street from each other.
How did we not see each other?
I don't know. We probably did, and then just like crazy how our universe like crosses at a later time. But while we were there, it's more of a technical school, right? So we learned the trade. I was always sewing more in the realm of like specialty fabrics. Okay. So I like while I was in school, I was exploring like sewing for kids. So I would always like love doing ruffles and stuff. Plus I was making my daughter's clothes, sometimes. When I moved to Chicago, she was 1. So I did that. When I got better at those techniques, I actually started making prom dresses in Chicago. So where I live,
Chicago, when it come to prom, baby, they be serious about the dresses.
They weren't playing, and I like that got me really in the realm of custom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has to be 1 of 1, almost 0 of 0, right? Like the color, even. They want to come up with a new color.
They're like, can you mix this orange with this gray? And I wouldn't call it blood orange. You'd be like,
right. So that got my feet really wet with creating custom. And when I graduated, I wound up actually going back to, I'm originally from Michigan, but I'm from Lansing, the capital city. I'm not from Detroit.
Okay.
So in my senior year, it just so happened that I had to have an internship with a company, didn't matter what company, but with a company that was looking for either fashion design students or, something within the fashion realm.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, back in Michigan, the auto industry was actually paying fashion design interns. While in Chicago, it was all fashion centric brands, but they weren't paying. So for me, at that point, I'm very much I'm a very hippie. I would be down for the no pay. However, I had a 1-year-old.
Right.
Plus, I was already working, so I could not work 40 hours to pay the rent essentially, and then another 40 hours for free. Like I wouldn't have a child at that point.
Nah.
So I had to move back. But while the whole sense of me getting into lingerie, when I went back to Michigan, actually, I had first got engaged to my now husband, and then that got me going into making my own pieces like lingerie. I wanted to feel custom in that aspect. And I kept having friends and just kind of people around me who were either getting married or had friends that were getting married. And I'm like, hey, like I'll make this piece as your bachelorette gift, or I'll make this piece as her, wedding night outfit, whatever it was. Cause I'm very much into themes, right? And setting the whole tone.
You gotta set the mood in general.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you're going to Aruba? Okay, I can get this blue fabric and I'll have the rhinestones here and da-da-da-da-da. So that's really what kind of made me flow into lingerie. But as I sat back, actually the other day I was thinking about it, like I really just enjoy whatever it is. I really enjoy being there for women at very pivotal times in their lives. Yeah. So like whether it was prom, or like wedding or whatever it was, I've always been there in a capacity where they are about to experience something so big and so exciting that, they would kind of get into this type of product. So that's where lingerie comes from. I know that was like a long walk around the block, but
we need the whole story though. We need to be immersed in what Breakfast at 6 is, because a lot of the times we get this basic ass story when it comes to brands, right? And they just try to be like, oh, I got $1 million loan from my cousin and I started in the basement. You be like, bitch, no, you did it. Like, what's going on? So I appreciate those stories because it makes me feel more connected to something that I want to purchase.
Yeah.
So I think both of us have similar stories in the sense that, we had our kids when we were in college, or our first kids when we were in college. And trying to still make sure that we follow our dreams without falling into that, like you said, that I got to pay the rent, I got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So like, how did you balance that, because your daughter's what, 12 now?
She's 11 in September.
So how did you balance that 11 years ago, 10 years ago?
I know.
Trying to make sure you did both.
Literally, I have stories on end, and I know I have a time limit to this interview, but let me tell you something that was like such a foundation for me. And it's another one. I have 3. I was pregnant my senior year in high school.
Okay.
And I wound up breaking up with my child's father shortly after I had graduated high school. She was maybe 4 or 5 months. And the experiences of that, first of all, no little girl, I was a little girl, 17, 16, right? Should have to experience that at that point in their life, right? All my other friends were either still fighting or they were going to prom, you know what I mean? And having the time of their lives and drinking and all this kind of stuff. Not saying that that's what I wanted to be a part of, but I had to skip a lot of that. So I grew up really fast. When I did move down there, it was like my mom and my dad were very helpful for me. I mean, like rock, I'm talking. As far as you're going down here, no matter what, we're going to support you no matter what. And if you can meet us halfway as far as paying the rent or, whatever, we'll help you. We'll help take care of you. So I remember specifically my first spot in Chicago was in Granville.
Okay.
And I had signed up for for support, like for food stamps or whatever with my oldest. And when the office was all the way up, I think in Evanston.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I had to travel from Granville to Evanston with a 1-year-old anyway, I get to Evanston and I get to that office and I'm sitting down there and I just saw like the restrictions and a lot of stuff that, you know, being in that type of system, they were kind of corralling you to be, right? And I said, this isn't for me. I wound up turning down those food stamps and just worked. That this also kind of was what fueled me just sewing and coming up with other things in the meantime, to help take care of the bills or necessities or even just having breakfast in the morning between my daughter and I before we go to class. You know, like she's going to daycare and I'm going to school. So we both, you know, had that struggle phase, even though she didn't know it. But I'm so grateful for those times because it kept me away, number one, from drama while I was still young, you know, in adolescence. It kept a certain grit within me to do it no matter what, and to do it even when it's hard, when you're broke, when you're sad.
Right. Whatever.
You know what I mean? Whatever it was. So those two proponents, like, you know, experiencing real life and real government type of, you know, systematic courses and also experiencing family support. Those two were very pivotal for me to just keep going and to help provide.
Yeah, I agree with, especially when it comes to the support system in general.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how important that is. To be honest, I don't think it matters how old you are. You can be 47 and having your first baby. You need that support system. Like it's important. Yeah, it's so important, especially when, like, I don't know why people think this, but people assume that when you have kids, like, oh, I'm not gonna need no help. I knew from jump I was gonna need all the help. I'll be forgetting that I got food cooking for myself, yet alone you want me to be responsible for a baby. I have
nothing.
Man, people ask me still, like, are you gonna have another kid? I'll be like, you know, my mom just moved back to Chicago. She was used to it. Maybe now I'll consider having a baby because she was here with me for my first one. I didn't know. I was like, what? The doctor said, she was like, girl, that doctor don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, okay.
In place.
Yes, I swear. So I went on the website and you have all of these super dope pieces, but what I really enjoy about your website in particular are the different model shaped women that you have. So, like, how did you know, like, I am not going into this with the normal shape of a woman. I want to show that there are different shapes.
First of all, girl, I love your questions. So it is so vital, especially in the Black community, to hear this out. If they look at a skinny Black woman like myself, they think in some, or not they, like just a blanket statement. Yeah. Some think that we have no way to relate to what body image looks like. And I have personal issues and body consciousness of just being slim. I've always wanted to gain weight and I've always wanted to look a certain way. And like, you know, like you'll see, especially like in the social media space, like take, for example, like Megan and Beyonce right now, right? So like the biggest caption is, if you don't jump to put jeans on, you don't feel my pain. All right, well, I want to jump to put jeans on. Like, I mean, it's not my fault. So
you on that.
So then with that, I made it my mission, especially with like the last collection with the 90s era. I made it my mission to represent every single body, structure, physique, whatever you call it, because those women in the 90s and 2000s were like icons on the TV. We would record them. We would copy their dances. We would sing in our brushes, like the good times, right? Yeah. So whether I was Missy Elliott in the mirror or whether I was Aaliyah, you know what I mean? Like, who's to say this girl who's thicker and curvier can't be Aaliyah too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or who's to say like someone like me, I can't be Missy Elliott super duper fly in a big old, you know, whatever. So I really wanted to cross personas, cross the body constraints that, you know, sometimes that we self-inflict and create barriers for ourselves.
So that touched for me because I was once super, super slim. I feel like I was your size. I was really slim. Even if after I had my son, I was like, snapback was for real. Like, oh, okay, cool. Obviously, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more curves and I've gotten slightly bigger because I still don't think I'm a thick girl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, I hate when people see me and they're like, oh, you put on some weight. Are you pregnant? Are you this? And I'll be like, yeah. Why would you say that? Like,
why can't I just be?
Why can't I just be? Especially because it's like I'm already, like you said, I'm getting comfortable. I'm 31 at this point. So I'm finally comfortable in my skin. I'm finally comfortable who I am. And here you come trying to make me feel uncomfortable. Like,
that's not a compliment. Like,
that's not a compliment at all.
Yeah.
Not a compliment at all. I don't think people get that.
Yeah. So I just felt like it was important to cross those barriers. Like I still love like the girl who did Aaliyah. She's a curvier girl, but like she still represented Aaliyah and the vibe there. Yeah. And then like Hillary Banks, the girl who did Hillary Banks, she was way curvier than the actual Hillary.
Right.
So, you know, Selena set that off. And then I had Little Kim. I just had so much fun and just making those personas because I feel like that's what we saw in ourselves.
Right. Exactly. Girl, I was feeling it. I was like, oh, I just was like, I'm not sure why. I guess because like when you figure bigger brands, you just kind of be like, oh, okay, have this body image that they assume people are, and I'm not sure what life they be in. Like, they must still live in the 60s or whatever, because there's no way that, you know, she's a size 6 and I'm a size 6. Or I have to go in the store and I gotta buy a size 10 pants, and I know damn well I'm not no size 10. That's a problem.
I still find that the bigger brands, they know what to say because they hire the people, but that does not translate well into the products that they provide, because it's still very much what's palatable for them. You know what I mean? Like, so they'll say one thing and that generates a marketing sales strategy, right? That gets a certain customer, but then at the same time, it doesn't always match up to what they say.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. I'll be ready to fight, actually. I'm one of those people that hate shopping, mainly because people always laugh at me. I say I have this funny shape. I have this really funny shape where I have like long legs, but I got a little bit of hips, but I have no waist. And I'm like, my pants are either too short or too long. And I'm like, why can't I just find clothes?
Yep.
But I also experience that when I'm shopping for lingerie, because I feel like my body shape doesn't fit the normal brand thing. So it's just like, okay, well, how can I feel sexy if I don't feel sexy? Yeah.
I was just texting one of my girlfriends, and I don't know, maybe this is going to answer like one of your questions down the line. She has kind of like a wider torso, and she was trying out some lingerie and she showed me, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with what you have. There's nothing wrong with the lingerie. It's just finding which cut or which shape of the lingerie will best, like, what's the word I want to say? Will best reflect your shape that you got going on.
Right.
So if you're more of like a squared out hip, I absolutely, like, you know, I drew on my iPhone. I was like, this is the shape of lingerie that you want to find. You know what I mean? Something that's going to create that illusion. And it's
that's all we want is the illusion.
Yeah, that's all you want, right? It's just to look good in that moment and to feel good in that moment. When something is a cut straight across, and you're also, you know, like more of a straight across type of body type, that's not going to make you feel good.
No, it's not going to feel like a cardboard box. Is what
it's going to create some type of see. You're gonna come up with like, oh, I look like this. Oh, I did da. You know, like it's all about finding that flow with the pieces and knowing how to best complement what you got. Because people are like the biggest pain point that I hear people when I talk to them about buying my lingerie. It's not my prices.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the story. They'll just say, "Ooh, girl, like I need to lose weight before I can get into one of your pieces." And I'm like, well, ask yourself this: do you stop to have sex before you lose weight?
Because I won't.
You get regardless, okay?
Exactly. I'll be like, oh, I'm fat. You finna get all these rolls today. I don't know what to tell you.
Or you cut the lights off, or you do whatever you do.
That's it.
You do whatever you do to get the job done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So don't wait for this perfect, elusive dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that perfect doesn't exist.
It doesn't. In our heads, though, as women, I feel like we think it does. Yeah. But it doesn't. Because even the woman that we look at, like, oh my gosh, she has a perfect shape. We have, I mean, I look at Rihanna, I look at Beyonce, I look at Megan. I'm like, damn, them some bad women. But it's like they probably have their own insecurities within themselves as well.
Exactly.
So you are now Mrs. Waston, and you have your lingerie business, and you still have your 9-to-5. Like, how are you staying sexy during like quarantine in itself?
Okay, so I've been asked this a couple times. I'm not always on every day. I'm not. And I also have kids who are more cognitive of what I'm wearing.
Okay.
Right? So like, for example, I have like this little bra on, and this is probably like the most risque it's going to get during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I have a bodysuit on, I wear my bodysuit. And like, for example, I have like this one, it's like a red, I call it cherry on top bodysuit that is like, it's very covered up front here, but like the pants that I wear, you can see like in the back is a high thong and it's a party in the back, right? So I have to find ways to stay appropriate, you know what I mean, in front of older kids, because that's who I am dealing with now, a 6-year-old who will ask questions like, why is the floor wet? Or why, you know, not that was like happening, I'm just saying like, he's very curious.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, the 11-year-old who will like literally give me a side eye if I look like, you know, like a va boom. So my top 3 go-tos then during my quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like I said, bodysuits that I always wear. I found the most comfortable and sexiest piece that is so translatable. I could even throw a jacket on and go out to the grocery store is like unitards.
Oh.
And I made one that has like this super low back that gives, once again, illusion, right? It gives this illusion that I have way more curves. You know what I mean? And I could wear this day in, day out in front of my kids and they won't think nothing of it. Okay. So like unitards could come in like obviously like a one piece, or they can come with belts if you have any type of waistline kind of, you know, thoughts or insecurities there. And then 3, I always love a good bralette and like a cardigan sweater because it's eye candy. That's all you want to do is eye candy. And the way that we kind of like balance our schedules right now, like our kids are on and off Zoom meetings all day, right? So this kind of makes
personal assistants.
Right. So we're personal assistants. We know the schedule, but this makes it a fun opportunity to, especially since both of us are home and that's not normal, it makes it a very fun time to have intimate moments during the day when we would not normally have it.
Right.
So if they're on a call downstairs and then, you know, Ruby's up asleep, whatever, like I make it a mission to make things out of the ordinary, especially now.
Which makes sense though. So when you're so the thing is like for me, obviously I'm in a long distance relationship. So I get away with like throwing on a hoodie or like, you know, not doing my hair or whatever. Right. But like when he's here, I find myself like it's a struggle to pull myself out of those things, right? Because like I'm comfortable now. I don't want to do this sexy shit. I don't care. Like whatever. So I those are good examples of ways to keep it sexy and comfortable all at the same time.
And let me tell you something that is so, when I thought about this, it was so profound to me. Like not saying that we have to be ultra sexy on 10 all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel you, because when I'm in my sweats and I don't have whatever taken care of, or if I don't get dressed like in the beginning of the day, it is so hard. It's even harder to pull myself out of that. It takes longer.
Yep.
Because I'm like, okay, I got a date at 5. I know I got to start at 12 noon to be ready by 5.
Girl, I was supposed to work my 9 to 5 today. That didn't happen because I was like, okay, you need to do something to your hair. You got to find something to throw on. I'm like, I don't know what to do today. They finna get regular Cubana today because I don't know what to get from.
So I think that, like, if I find, like, for example, the longest thing it takes is either my makeup or my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I find when I have that at least done, or like all my hair, right? So like my body hair, my hair. If I have all that taken care of, I'm already halfway there. So even if I throw on a little t-shirt that's like that's his size, I'm still even cuter than what I was before my hair wasn't taken care of.
Before the hair wasn't taken care of. Before you did anything else, I didn't do good.
I'm still prancing around cuter than I was before.
Yes. I love it though. I love wearing. See, that's my problem. So I'm just really starting to get into lingerie. I was not a lingerie person. However, me and my significant other had a conversation, and he was like, "I like lingerie," and I was like, "Well, I like t-shirts. I don't know what to tell you." Like, but obviously, pleasing him is. I don't want to be the only person pleased here. So I started kind of venturing into the lingerie field.
Yeah,
I'm trying. I'm like a fake tomboy, fake not. Like,
and let me tell you something. Just like I live for stuff like this. Like if my girlfriend was to be like, "Girl, all I like is doing t-shirt." I go, okay, so you wear your baggy t-shirt and you get a lingerie like belt or one of those like the waist cinchers that is lace or lacy, and then just wear some lace undies with it, because it's going to make it look so different and so like. Once again, the illusion, you're going to have a different aspect of eye candy there to where you're not sacrificing your comfort or your comfort zone, but then you're also satisfying, because we get it that satisfaction matters in both ways. In both ways,
yeah. So, wait, how long have you and your husband been together?
So, we met in 2008. And I'm trying to think of what I said. I told my church family that we met at a campaign rally.
All right.
For President Obama. When really it was a club and we were celebrating my president is black. Like when Obama got elected.
Listen, I love it. You got to separate the two. What you need to know is that President Obama was involved. Now, how he was involved, that's not none of your business.
That's why I thought it was a campaign rally.
Either way it go, he was there. Some way or form.
So what, 2008? Like we've known each other since 2008 and then started dating like around the end of 2009.
So when you're coming up with your new pieces, right?
Yeah.
Do you be like, let me try this out on him?
A little bit of both. My unitard, yes. And like that was an instant, okay, noted. You know what I mean? Take that to the bank.
Right.
Because I know other people gonna like that, and I know I feel good in that. So yes. There's some pieces though that I wish I made like 2 of, for example. Like for brides or whatever who want something custom. I don't always make every single piece like in multiple. So I still have even things like up my sleeve that I will make for other people that I haven't tried myself. But I know like if I was to make it like in my kind of, my realm, my view or whatever, like there's no doubt people will like that. So I like the small batch theory in a way that I could stay in this creative flow more than just being so systematic with like mass produced type of lingerie.
Got you.
Yeah.
So if people want custom pieces made, how do they reach out to you or how do they contact you to do that?
Actually, a multitude of ways. On my social media, of course. At Breakfast at 6 or on Facebook. The most inquiries that I do get is either like DMs or if they go on my website, they have a contact me.
Okay.
I've dealt with it multitude of ways. Like they'll shoot me a picture and say, "Hey, can you make something like this?" Or they'll do like a flat out inquiry, like, "Hey, I have a wedding coming up, or I have a special anniversary." I've done tons of anniversaries. That's fun too. I have an anniversary coming up, and I just want to feel special. I don't know what I want, but could you recommend? And
Right.
most of those women, honestly, most of those women aren't 1000% comfortable with sharing what they got after, right? Because like this is the type of customer that wears it for their husband, and they're not like a booty model on Instagram. That's like not my customer.
Right.
So I find pleasure in understanding who that woman is and still serving her and not feeling like I have to have every type of model or influencer that will show her butt, because that could stray away other people sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line between making sure I show my product and then, like still keeping people's privacy. So,
Right.
so that's usually how they find me to make stuff for them.
Okay. So I want something made, and we can talk offline, but I want like a cute little duster. So, just walk around the house.
Yeah.
Something simple and cute.
I got you.
So we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about Beyonce and Nicki.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about Boosie Child and his mess. And so we're gonna talk about all of that. So we'll be right back.
Okay.
Woo child. Are those kids getting on your goddamn nerves? Are you looking for something fun yet educational for them to do to keep them busy? Are you tired of going to 1,700 different stores looking for something like that? Don't worry. Cubana got you covered. Visit funcubed.com. That's fun-cubed.com for a cool box, shipped and prepackaged with the different activity kits directly to your door. Listen, they offer themes to choose from for each different cube. They come with all the ingredients you need for a good time. So whether it's a birthday party, a fundraiser, or they just getting on your damn nerves, hit up FunCubed for all your FunCube needs.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Woo Child Chronicles podcast, and I've been blessed enough to be kicking it with Sarah Waston, CEO and founder of Breakfast at 6.
What up, though?
Thank you so much for joining me today. This was like super dope and everything.
This is fun. I love talking. Just
baby, anytime you get me to talk about what I do for a living, I'm like, yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
I love it. So, of course, we're going to get into hot topics.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, you mentioned the Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion remix to
Stay. Very ironic.
I love it. I love the song. Some of them parts, I was like, oh, she's spitting. Like, okay. She said her mama was a savage bitch. I got this shit from Tina. I was like, I feel that. I feel that in my soul. So, speaking of, there's been this huge thing. I'm not sure if you were following Black Twitter, has been going crazy. Mm-hmm. Where, Beyonce's verse obviously has hit home for a lot of people. If you don't jump to put jeans on, you don't feel my pain. If you want to see some real ass, baby, here's your chance. And people was like, who's she talking to?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, does she have to be talking to someone?
Does she?
Does she have to be talking to someone? But then Nicki Minaj, hold on, I want to make sure I get the damn name of the song right.
Mm-hmm.
Because
let me look that up too. You said Nicki and Doja, right?
Yeah, Nicki and Doja.
By the way,
it's the Say So remix, or whatever it is. Anyway, Nicki and Doja have a song together that was supposed to release apparently before the Savage remix.
Oh,
it was supposed to release before the Savage remix. So according to my sources. About my sources, I really just mean like baller alert, But according to my sources, for some reason or another, Nicki and Doja got their single got pushed back. So Beyonce and Megan was able to kind of just put theirs out with like whatever. Well, apparently when Nicki and Doja's got pushed back, Nicki re-recorded her verse. And within this verse, it says something along the lines of, well, real ass ain't keep him home. And like, So now you got the Bayhive versus the Minaj clan, and it is just a hot mess. It's just a mess. And so pretty much people are like, when did they start beefing?
Yeah.
Because they got songs together. They appear to be friends. So I'm like, are we reaching, y'all, or are they really beefing?
Right. Now, Black people.
Black people.
Where there's smoke, there's probably some type of fire.
Mm-hmm. Something there.
And it is very easy to draw this, especially that I didn't know that Nicki went and changed the verse after Beyonce sent her.
Yeah.
So that kind of changes things, right? How do I feel about this though? Because I'm such a big fan of both.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ride or die for Beyonce any day though.
I am not a part of the Bayhive. I am not one of the people that's like, oh my God, like Beyonce. But I will give respect where respect due. And Shorty been ruling the game for a long little minute. So you just got to give her props. But I'm also not a Nicki fan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, not
which
really
makes it easy.
Yeah, so it made it real easy to be like, well, Beyonce said what she said. But I am not a Nicki fan because I feel like she's a bully. And I feel like she does not represent women well. After a while, if you didn't get into it with Miley and Remy and Lil' Kim and Cardi, you're the common denominator, ma'am.
Yeah. So, now, Nicki is for sure a fire starter.
Yeah.
I like the Nicki where it was Onika and she was doing the Young Money freestyles back when she was like barely anything yet. Like I remember like
the ass shots and stuff.
And like that Nicki I loved. So to fast forward to today, I think it's sad where she's taking her brand.
Yeah.
In some aspects. Especially if whatever Beyonce was saying was true, though it's almost like you can't touch that part. Or I don't know, like what do you think? Like is anything goes for beef? Or like can you not touch, like you can't talk about kids, you can't talk about marriage. Like at what point is it too far?
So I think that the only thing that's off limits for real is like death and children. Okay. Right? So like if somebody die, like you're not supposed to be like, I'm gonna put you in the grave next to your like you're not supposed to say that type of shit. And I think children are off limits altogether. But unfortunately, your marriage, I don't know. I'm one of them people that low key I say stuff to make you hurt. That's why I try not to argue with people and stuff. I try to keep myself to a distance because I know I'm a below the belt person. I know this for a fact. This is why I don't argue. I try not to argue in my relationship. I don't even argue with my child because I will hurt your feelings. Like I don't have time. Like I want to make sure you hurt. But with this beef, I do think that there is a reach here. Only because if you listen to a lot of the songs, obviously you have. You listen to a lot of the songs that Beyonce has put out recently, and I'll say within like the last 3 or 4 years, maybe since she had Blue. She's been talking real good shit about how natural her body is. So why is it now that you're offended by what she's saying? Are you offended because the shoe fit?
Yeah.
So like that's how I look at it. That's what I'm looking at because I'm like, Megan, all she talk about is how real her ass is.
Yeah.
And how she's vegan and whatever, or she was like vegetarian and something.
And both of them from Texas with the cocky swag, whatever that is. It's just a right fit. Like people want to feel cocky when you hear certain songs. Okay. And they know that. So like Nicki has always been a point of conversation for having a fake body. Right? So don't take offense now when one of these and also it's probably a draw because it's another rapper with Beyonce. And Beyonce didn't used to collab like that with people. So
no, she only collabed with like Jay-Z.
I mean, right.
We were surprised to see her collab with Nicki. We was like, oh, it's a collab here.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that probably struck a nerve too. You know what I mean? Because it was like close. Like she held that prize for a very long time that she was one of the few who could collab with Beyonce. Yeah. So if I were to talk to Nicki, I would say on whatever you want to call your body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to judge. I'm not in that space. However, I am beehive. And like you said, if the shoe fits, I mean, make it a red bottom. I don't know.
Make the red bottom. You know, them motherfuckers hurt. But okay, so speaking of Nicki is all through the news as of late rather. So Swiss Beats and Usher were on live. Mm-hmm. And I'm honestly not sure how it came about that they got on the topic of Nicki. Mm-hmm. But Usher made the comment, you know, Nicki is just a product of Lil' Kim. Mm-hmm. Now, I personally don't think, because it's Usher, I don't think that he was saying it in a sense of like she's a product and she needs to show respect. I think he was just saying like, I'm older, and so I know where she got her influence from.
Right.
Well, what you call them? The Nicki Minaj. What's her little clan? The Barbs.
Yeah.
The Barbs lost their goddamn mind. Okay, so they ate Usher alive on Black Twitter. And they just kind of went in and was like, you know, she's already showed her homage to Lil' Kim, and she made it very clear that she was a huge influence on her career, blah, 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 blah. I got so many issues with this, only because I am a Lil' Kim fan, which is probably why I couldn't get with Nicki for real. Mm-hmm. I enjoy, just like you, I enjoy feature Nicki. Mm-hmm. When she's featuring on something, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. I don't like any of her songs where it's just her. None of them. I'd be like, turn it off. Like, I'm good. So for me, it's like, I can listen to a whole Lil' Kim album to this day. And
yeah. I mean, like, was Usher lying though? You know what I mean? Like, you think about all these women that came before Nicki.
Come on.
Kim, Foxy Brown, Adina Howard, even though she was more on R&B. Like, all these people, yes, they shaped and they created this lane for women to be very open with their sexuality and what they wanted and how they wanted it and what to call it and what to do with it. I mean, even Janet Jackson, you know what I mean? So, like, is he lying? No. Are they sensitive?
Yeah. I feel for you. Bart, stop being sensitive. It's okay. We know where she came from. Like, I'm just so this is my thing with Nicki too, and I feel like I'm low-key biased because I am young enough where I could appreciate Nicki, but I'm old enough where I know I've seen the progression, like you said, within female rap.
Yeah.
And so because of that, when Nicki came out, I was in college. Mm-hmm. Ain't no way in hell I'm about to be walking around here calling myself no Harajuku Barbie. I just wasn't gonna do it. So I just was like, who is this? Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing this. And so everybody's like, oh, she's cold. She's okay. Then why is she a Barbie? She's grown. I understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of done with her.
No, same. I just liked her in her mixtape realm because it was very I mean, that was like when Lil Wayne was still doing his mixtapes and stuff like that. So kind of like the underground freestyling, like that felt more raw and real to me versus, you know, plumped up.
Yeah.
Masses. So, I mean, you know, to each his own, but Usher wasn't lying in that sense. And anybody with a good common core of knowledge of hip hop, you would easily agree with that. And it's not offensive.
It's not offensive at all. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's not offensive.
What it is. Mm-hmm. But speaking of offensive, child.
Yeah.
Black people can't be black. Apparently being black is offensive to white people. I don't know what it is. But recently, there's a video that surfaced of this Florida woman pretty much harassing a Florida police officer. So they called her online Florida Karen. You know, they hate that word Karen. They said it's equivalent to the N-word, which it is not. Whatever. So I'm going to play the video so the people can see what we're talking about.
You're going to send me a citation? I would love to see that.
Obsessive porn. And I have rear cameras on the way as well.
I beeped at you, because you shouldn't be trying to break into buildings.
Break into buildings? I just showed you that I live here.
Okay, but before that, I didn't know that, did I?
Is it your business, once again?
I live here, so it's safety of me and my building. It is.
have my key right here.
Okay.
And you're being recorded too.
Good.
Okay? Like
That's
I said,
good.
it'll be on your citation.
I'm not getting a citation.
Oh, you are. You are.
No, I'm not. I'll fight it tooth and nail.
Fight it. You'll still get one.
Well, I'm not going to pay
See you
it.
in court, though.
I'll see you in court,
Or when you get
neighbor.
your warrant for failure to pay, idiot.
Okay, so as you can hear in the video, she is so pressed
That's real.
that she did not know he was her neighbor. And so he pretty much was like, he played it so cool. He was like, I'm glad you're recording this because you're getting a citation. I'm sending you a citation for like bothering me or whatever.
Yeah.
But what do you think it is? Obviously, it's historic. It's history. It's historical that like we bother them. We make them so nervous just being us.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah.
How do I say this without being, I don't know. You know the term like black people can't be racist?
Yeah. It's true though.
I feel that way. Because time and time again, we are proven hand over fist that we can't walk, run, jog, talk, eat, sleep, breathe,
play,
watch TV, play in the park, do anything without our lives being disrupted, without our lives and our families being affected by the way that someone else is uncomfortable with what our skin type looks like. There is no way on God's green earth would, if he was a white police officer, would she trail him in her car while he's in uniform, while he's armed, while he has his badge on. There's nothing inconspicuous about him, nothing undercover, nothing that you could say that like would make you like, you know, check the box like, oh, I could check him because of this.
Exactly. Talking about, I thought you were breaking in. How? He in a full police uniform, ma'am.
How? Even if he was, call the precinct. Like, that is not your place.
Not your place at all.
They have an insurmountable amount of misplaced authority, misplaced pride, misplaced judgment of character so deep that it is gross. And I am tired, girl, I get heated on this. Yeah. I am tired of not seeing, I'll call it how it is. I'm tired of not seeing white people on the white picket fence to fight these offenses for your brothers and sisters, whether you call them brothers and sisters or not. Yeah. Like, I'm talking like literally on the line. Like, go down and start rioting or being in that parking lot or that apartment complex and letting her know that it's wrong.
It's wrong.
These people, like us, Black people, fight our own fight because we're in this honestly together. Like, those laws won't change unless white people change, period.
Yeah. And then the thing is too that like you said earlier, there was nothing that he was doing that prompted her to do what she did outside of him being Black.
Yep. That was the only offense. That was the only true offense in that video, unfortunately, was that he was Black. That was the offense. And
then what scares me about this, too, is because, obviously, I mean, we both have sons. I am raising a Black boy who will eventually be a Black man in the United States. And what scares me the most is that no matter what I teach him, no matter how well-spoken he is, no matter how educated he is going to be a threat to some white woman or to some white man who feels like he's a threat, not knowing him, not speaking to him, not knowing the situation or anything. And that scares me. That scares me more than anything else.
And let me add this on top. Like, there's nothing that stops them, not even how light-skinned you are or how light-skinned your son is. You're still Black. You're still Black to be Black. So this affects colorism to the fullest. This affects us all. So when we see stuff like this, like I have a cousin actually. She's a professor. She's kind of in the South, like North Carolina. Well, that is the South. And she's mapping out. Like, could you imagine that this is done on a map now? She's mapping out by county the number of offenses done against Black people in the name of racism. Like, it's 2020, and we're counting how authorities or authoritative
figures,
figures are taking matters into their own hands and now making a brand new statistic and a map and a storyline over this. This is more than just a hashtag. This is literally now studies. Studies show that blank, blank, blank happens when we go outside. So this is a real problem.
Or when we're in our own home.
Yeah.
I'm in my home sleeping and I can get shot by the police just because, they had the wrong address and you look dangerous. I was asleep. I look dangerous sleep.
So upsetting.
It's very so much upsetting. There's the last thing that has really upset me recently actually is this whole Boosie situation. Now I talked about it on last week's show.
Yeah.
And it was like still fresh and people were still finding out about it and everything. But now it's heavy. Now it's heavy. Like people are like, why isn't Boosie canceled?
Right.
How is he not canceled yet?
Right. I was wondering the same thing because as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, you cut off. And I was riding for Boosie. I love Boosie.
I love me. Listen to me, wipe me down. Come on.
The whole Savage Life? What?
Come on. I'm just saying.
I lingerie now, but I like my little ratchet side. So
I still got my ratchet side. To this day, I'll be like, oh, that's my side. But to hear a father, right? A father make comments and statements that it's okay for his son to get sexual favors done to him
from
underage
woman
by a grown woman.
Right.
To me, it's just utterly ridiculous. But not only is it utterly ridiculous, it concerns me because if the tables were turned, if the gender was turned, this conversation would be completely different.
Come on.
Completely different. And I just don't understand
have a hashtag, or not we, but people would have a hashtag now like free Boosie.
Yeah.
If it was a daughter that he did those services for, and then a grown man came in and did whatever to his daughter.
Yeah, he'd be arrested immediately.
Probably why? Because he would shoot the person who did that to his daughter. That's why the hashtag would be created. Not because we're canceling him. It's because he just ended the life of somebody.
Exactly.
So why is this different?
So if you wouldn't allow a grown man to do that to your daughter, why do you think it's okay for a grown woman?
It's not okay. And who's the woman? Like,
let's start there too.
At this point, like, show yourself, because you, ma'am, need to go directly to jail. Do not stop and collect. Go.
Nothing.
Don't stop. Don't collect.
Don't do nothing, because it's like, first of all, it ain't nothing about a 12 or 13-year-old boy at 31 that I found attractive at all. I'll be like, little boy, if you don't get the fuck
somewhere,
that would just throw me. This whole situation.
It was done all in the name of, or like, because of what his name is.
Mm-hmm.
And because of what it means to be of service to a celebrity like that. And that's scary, that celebrity status could really pacify rapists, rape culture. It could easily excuse things like that. Both of them honestly should be booked right now. Boosie and the girl, or whoever else was around there. This is no manhood. We're not in Africa where, this person can go in the village with this person and now they're made a man. Like, these are different times. You have a responsibility, especially for the culture who you represent.
Exactly.
Not to mention, girl, like how he was just on Dwayne Wade's head for what he did with his son.
But you out here, they gonna be a man. That's not gonna make them no man. So if anything, that might scar them.
Right. You have two very polar types of men who are doing two different things with their sons and creating these ultra cultures. I'm honestly like, and I'm not gonna weigh in about the D-Wade situation, but I'm like, okay, so who is the real role model that our kids or Black men will be able to look up to in this near or for our future. Like, God help us.
We ain't gonna have none.
It's hard.
We're not gonna have any, and it's unfortunate that we have men in the limelight that our boys are necessarily not going to be able to look up to.
Yeah.
Like, not saying Boosie is a role model by any means necessary, but
he is and for some people he probably is, because he has the ice, he has the money, he has
I mean, depending on where you grew up, he's definitely I mean, he damn sure won't be a role model for my kid.
Right.
But to see that and to hear that, it actually hurt my heart. Because I'm like, where's mom?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we tore T.I. alive for what he did to his daughter.
Right.
Where is the mom? Because I would kill my son's father. I would kill. He know I'd kill him. Like, oh, I'm going to jail. It's cool.
I am on my way.
Right. Like, it's fine.
If that mom didn't know then and she knows now and she ain't said nothing about it, I ain't seen nothing on TMZ. I haven't seen no other news update. I'm just going to assume that she was okay with it.
Yeah, it's like they brushed it over.
Yeah. And my hope for the future is that with all of what is changing in this world today, I really hope that there's a point in time where people could look to the very normal, everyday role models who they're around, versus people who are on social media and on this very, very high platform, because it is a slippery slope and it's so dangerous to be caught up in smoke and mirrors and overlook the true heroes who we're in front of every day. You know, like our teachers, the people who hold the door for us, the people who serve our food, the people who service and community and true outreach. I think that is where we'll grow abundantly in the right way, versus, looking to, I mean, literally, I asked my older daughter the other day, I said, and just randomly, because I knew she knew, I was like, so what do you think about Tekashi 6ix9ine? Just random. What do you think about him? She goes, well, he doesn't care what people say or think about him. I was like, so that, that's enough to make you kind of support what he's doing? Or I didn't insert my opinion or anything like that, but it's definitely an eye-opener to know what checks the box for them.
Right.
Girl.
And it puts us as parents in a different mindset as well, because now I feel like my mom didn't really know what I was listening to, what was going on. And now we got to be like, who, what, when, hold on.
Right. And what did he just say? And where is he at? What platform is this?
Exactly. And for my son's 10, and I try to allow him to have his space and his creative space and listen to the music he wants to listen to. But then I also make sure we have conversations, right? So, like, I grew up in a censored household. I couldn't listen to certain music. I couldn't do certain things. I couldn't do this. And my household is not necessarily censored. So if we talking about sex, not in a vulgar way, but I talk to my son about it. Listen, you need to make sure that nobody touch you, that nobody do this, nobody that. Like, we have very open conversations. Yeah. And so with that, we have open conversations about stuff that's going on. And he always been like, no, I want to talk about this with you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you going to talk about it because you either hear it from me. I want you to hear from me. I want you to hear from me, your friends and Tashi or Dwayne Wade. I don't want to hear from nobody else. I want you to get the real from your mama because
from me.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah. And that helps secure some type of purity within that are growing up. You know what I mean? Like when they can see the difference and hear the difference, and then make their own informed decision. Most of what kids go off of is because they're not informed.
Yep.
Right? So like the fact that informing him that this is what it is, and then go off into the world, you could listen to it, whatever, but like this is the experience that you'll get with it. That makes it so much more of a parenthood to, a parenthood experience versus letting them go wild.
Who child? Well, Mrs. Watson. Thank you so much for coming on. This was so fun. We got to do this again.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So if people want to order or if they just want to follow you on social media, how do they do that?
Yes. Okay. So I'm heavy on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me. The name is Breakfast. On Instagram is breakfast_at6. That's SIX. And then on Facebook is just Breakfast at 6. SIX once again. I'm also on Pinterest. So on Pinterest is really fun because like I know that when we go looking out for date night ideas and whatever, I have a whole Pinterest slew of boards that like help give ideas and just kind of keep it like all in one area. So like date night, what to wear, makeup looks, bed looks, setting the tone. I have all that on my Pinterest.
Okay.
I'm not on TikTok yet. I'm trying to figure out a way to like create content on TikTok. I know what I could do, but so I'm not on TikTok yet. I'm just trying to figure out how I could, be myself and still do TikTok.
Yeah.
But definitely Instagram, Facebook, or Pinterest.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are listening on any podcast site, I will have the link to Breakfast at 6 website down in the description box. If you're listening on YouTube, you can also just check the link in the description. It's gonna be there so y'all can reach out to her. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe. And you can follow us on all social medias at Cubana Kiss on everything: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Also, fun note, I added Cubana Kiss 20 is your listener code.
Hey!
For 20% off your purchase. I made a special code for you guys today.
So you heard her, Cubana. What is it, Cubana?
Cubana Kiss 20.
Cubana Kiss 20 for 20% off. So make sure you click the link in the description so you can go check out Breakfast at 6. And then next time y'all see me, hopefully I have my little duster.
Yeah, we can do a whole session like with lingerie or whatever. That'd be fun.
Yes. Okay, so cool. So thank you for coming. Yes, and I'll talk to y'all later.